evening, but looks to be some fantastic football on display.
And it's a big night for one Heidelberg play in particular, with Stephen Pace playing his 150th game for the club. Congratulations to him, and we'll visit the lineup for Heidelberg. In goals, number 1, Theodore Readied. Number 2, Wilkins. Number 7, Ruben Way. Number 8, Cartanos. Number 9, Adrian Zara. Number 11, Derek. The captain at number 13, Biles. Number 15, O'Brien. Number 16, Cahill. Number 17, the 150 gamer, Stephen Pace. And number 19, Ellis on the bench. Number 35, the backup keeper, Brendan White. Number 3, Les Dumbalis. Number 12, Dib. And number 20, Ninkovic. Now, for the home side, in goals, number 1, Pierce Clark. Number 3, Sheridan. Number 4, Georgopoulos. Number 6, Modifiari. Number 7, Blake Carpenter. Number 10, the captain, Barnes. Number 11, Kieran Dover. Number 18, Christian Carvalho. Number 21, Dean Piermonti. Number 22, Berevesks. And number 33, Cass on the bench, Jake Kashiri, Desic, Fizzy, Mametti, and Ringe. Now, looking at the ladder, Josh, this doesn't look like it's going to be a close contest, but with the weather that we got here, it's been a bit wet around Dandenong this afternoon, and the pitch is actually quite damp.
Yeah, the pitch could be a leveller tonight. In fact, I think, Dandenong Thunder obviously will be the underdogs this evening, but they're going to make things as difficult as possible for the visitors, and they'll be looking to Brandon Barnes in particular to score the goals. As we always know, he's a threat usually for the Golden Boot. This season a little way behind, but they'll be playing pretty direct on the counter-attack, I imagine, and trying to catch out Heidelberg on this very slippery and wet pitch.
Well, all to play for tonight, because Dandenong Thunder do currently sit second last on the ladder in the relegation zone, and any points here tonight are vital to creep up the gap on Pascoe and also Dandenong City too, which will be their next home game here. So if you can't make it down tonight, definitely book in 2 weeks in your diary, because we've got a Dandenong derby which is going to be very spicy, as we've got round 18 about to kick off here. And the referee blows his whistle, and Zara plays it out wide to the left-hand side. Get a score prediction off you, Josh. What do you reckon the score could be tonight?
It's hard to go past Heidelberg. I'm going to go for I think there'll be goals tonight. There's already been goals over at Green Gully. 3-3 draw. Absolute drama over at Green Gully Reserve. I'm going to go 3-2 to the visitors.
Yeah, I'm going to say potentially 4-1 to Heidelberg tonight. I think they've got a lot in the line, trying to catch up to Avondale and keep in touch with Bentley in second spot. As you see the throw-in played up towards the halfway, looking for Tom Cahill. Can't find him, but they do find Brandon Barnes. And Kieran Dover playing more centrally tonight. We'll play it out to Carpenter. He's happy to reset. Sheridan will play it all the way back to Pierce Clark. Now, last week, I actually called the game between Dandenong Thunder and Altona Magic. It was one of those games that was quite heated on and off the pitch. We won't talk about what happened off the pitch, but certainly in terms of what happened on the pitch, Brandon Barnes got a brace in the first half, and I tell you what, they looked quite comfortable on the counter-attack. I wonder if that's a method that they might stick to tonight.
I think so. I think that's the pattern. I'm really interested to see how number 22 goes tonight. Dean Berevescos coming over from South Melbourne. As Brandon Barnes comes forward here.
He has got a chance. He gets onto his left peg, and it's an early goal for Brandon Barnes. He puts the home side up 1-0 in only the first minute. It's been 90 seconds here at George Andrews Reserve, and already a goal to the home side, and the Heidelberg players look quite shocked, Josh.
He's the man. Brandon Barnes is a goal machine if you give him an opportunity, and it's that direct ball on the counter-attack. Heidelberg caught napping. Brandon Barnes finding the bottom corner, and what a turn-up for the books we've already got on here. Only 90 seconds into the game, Bryce.
I'll tell you what, it's a very chilly night, and the fans have maybe decided to just watch from the comfort of the lounge room on the live stream, and we could be in for a goal fest tonight, as you said moments ago, as we see another kick-off literally 2 minutes after we've started play. And maybe this is the style that Dandenong Thunder need to implement to stay up in the NPL for next season, because they worked last week against the Altona Magic, even though they went down late to a couple of late decisions. But counter-attacking football can be ugly, but it can work too.
Absolutely, and there was nothing ugly about that. I mean, it was very clean. Pass up to find Brandon Barnes, one-on-one with the defender, buries it in the bottom corner, 1-0. And I think this is the key to keeping Dandenong Thunder up this season.
Yeah, not the start Heidelberg would have wanted here, as we see Sean Ellis on the free kick. He plays it in, mishits it completely, but does end up back at his feet here on the near touch line. Whips in the second ball. but can only find the head of Cass at right back. Bit of a scrap here. Stephen Pace calls for handball, waved away by the referee. And Thunder happy just to play it out to the halfway point. And Blake Carpenter looking to shut down Ellis on this near touchline and does well. Sean Ellis. Dover in a tight battle there. I think it could be one of those scrappy nights, Josh.
Just looking at the replay there, it did catch the arm of the defender. I think he was just outside the box. Of course, on the line is in the box, but I think it would have been a free kick. But, yeah, getting away with one there, the Thunder.
If Heidelberg get a penalty tonight, does it go to the 150 gamer, Stephen Pace? I
think he's got to step up, surely. Although, at 1-0 down, maybe you want to go with your regular taker.
He's got experience, but you'd imagine someone like Tom Cahill would be on that as the ball is thrown in, looking for that man on the penalty spot. He misses it. And Pace does try and challenge it, but the Thunder do well to clear their lines. And Luke Biles looking to get it back in.
It's funny you say that, Bryce, because it's actually been the goalkeeper taking Heidelberg's penalties of late, Readied.
It has been. He's an own penalty kick taker and also a disruptor, too, of penalties, just whacking the ball away. You might remember from a famous cup game years ago, as there's a cheap turnover here, and Tom Cahill's got some space to go forward. Doesn't release the pass. He does now. He finds Sean Ellis getting onto his left foot. He'll play it out wide. Zara does come back to that man now. Plays across the face. And it just a bit of a loose touch there. And Pierce Clark happy just to settle things down here. And I can tell you what, both benches to start with in the first 4 minutes, they're very vocal on the side here, Josh.
As you would expect, two very competitive sides. You know, they always get stuck in and always get fired up on the sidelines as well.
Now, you might notice a big name missing out of the Heidelberg lineup tonight, Harry Noon. He has copped his 5th yellow card last week, so he is currently suspended. One thing, too, to watch tonight for Heidelberg, they've got a big game against Oakley at home next weekend, but they've got 4 players on yellow cards. Luke Biles, Ruben Way, and also Tom Cahill as well. So a bit to think about tonight for particularly Luke Biles. He doesn't mind a challenge at the back there.
Absolutely. I think that's something they'll have to be mindful of is by Carpenter. Gets away with a bit of a climb there on top cat Tommy Cahill. It's a big loss having Harry Noon out of the 11. One of the best midfielders in the league, and also one of the guys who tends to pick up a scrappy goal when things aren't going your way. So Heidelberg will be really struggling to cope without him tonight, I think.
Well, the Heidelberg coaching staff will want to do everything to keep all men on deck for next week, and also welcome back Harry Noon as well, as we see Ruben Way on the ball. Looking for Cahill. Does well to bring it down on the chest. We'll send it out wide. The ball coming to the middle. Pace. Mishits his pass, and Brandon Barnes does keep his line well. But the ball does go out for a Heidelberg throw-in. And it's one of those things. They're trying to play a high line, but with Brandon Barnes, not the sort of player that you can really afford to make a mistake with doing that.
Absolutely. He always is on the shoulder of the last defender. He's a goal poacher extraordinaire, as we've already seen tonight. So Heidelberg playing a bit of a dangerous game.
Balls play up the line. Just trying to get in behind with Katanos. And Derek puts on a fair bit of pressure on Pierce Clark. He does well to get that away at the end there. And it will be a Thunder throw-in. Pierce Clark looking to play it quite tight at the back there.
These are the kind of conditions that you end up getting one for the blooper highlight reel. And Pierce Clark, I think, just thanking his lucky stars that the Heidelberg player didn't get more of a deflection on that clearance.
If you are watching it through the Facebook Live platform, first off, welcome, and you can get your comments coming through any time. Let us know where you're watching from. We can already see Brendan Barnes' dad commenting on there saying, "Go, son." He's had a great start tonight, as he did last week as well. So 3 goals in 2 games. He's doing quite well. And he might have another chance here, as he's trying to get the ball on the left-hand side. And just a mishit pass does give the chance for the Thunder to squeeze in. And something's really clicked with the Thunder tonight. They're just trying to keep the ball and then look at that long option to Brendan Barnes. As you know, he's a great marksman. But something's just clicked the last couple of weeks.
I think the addition of Dean Beravescos to this midfield has added a real bit of steel. I mean, he has a lot of experience from NPL New South Wales.
Yeah, did leave South Melbourne to come down the Monash. A strong challenge there. Referee happy to let it go. And Blake Carpenter will end up with it here on the left-hand side. Just looking for an option. Hasn't got one, so has to go all the way back to Sheridan, who'll use Pierce Clark. Montefiore. Just plays it short. Beravakis. Finds Montefiore. Beravakis does well to find the gap and does look for that searching ball and does find Christian Carvalho. And the referee does pull up that handball there, and the coaching bench of Heidelberg not too happy with that call because they had their own only moments ago.
Absolutely, yeah. Heidelberg frustrated by the inconsistency there, but I do like Christian Carvalho playing in a more attacking role tonight. Often used as a left back or a left wing back, he seems to be given a bit more attacking freedom with Carpenter playing on the same side, and I think that will suit his talents because he's someone with a lethal delivery into the box. There's a bit of a concern over one of the Heidelberg players running to the bench, just checking his gums to make sure he's not in violation of the blood rule.
Christian Carvalho was on trial about a month ago with the Central Coast Mariners, and he whips that ball into the penalty spot. And Heidelberg do look to clear with Zara on the right-hand side. Beravakis in tight to shut down there. O'Brien just plays it back to Queenslander. The chance to settle it down, and they'll look line to Ellis, who's not facing up this time and just completely gets caught facing the wrong way. Carvalho, he's been a great addition to the attack. Obviously started the season at left back, and I think was getting high but was getting caught out a little bit. And since moving into that left winger, left midfield role, has definitely helped with the assistance too of Brendan Barnes.
Definitely. I think he just revels in a little bit more attacking freedom and allowing Kieran Dover to come inside as a result as well. I think that's where his talents are best utilised.
The skipper in Brendan Barnes plays a nice ball out to the right-hand side. He'll find Cass. He can lock it in. Just plays it back to Barnes. Looking for that searching ball, and the offside flag was up, but Heidelberg do well with a quick transition here on the right-hand side. And Ellis does go down to a strong challenge from Kieran Dover. Not the biggest of blokes, but nonetheless very capable of making those strong challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of music between the notes is what perhaps Dandenong Thunder have been lacking, and Kieran Dover is a player with a little bit of creativity and imagination. He can find those tiny gaps and also puts a lot of pressure on the ball.
Well, since the loss of Pedicus Skapetis to South Melbourne, they've brought him central, and I think that's another little tweak that the coaching staff at Thunder have done quite well, because obviously having Skapetis playing in the narrow midfield role when he was here, you saw him in the A-League as a right winger. Maybe that should have been done earlier with Skapetis on the right. Might have given him a bit more in the first opening rounds. As we see a chance here with Brendan Barnes. Stands up Luke Biles and plays the ball across, but nothing in the middle there, and just an unfortunate shot there from Brendan Barnes. It's a quick transition play here for Derek. Beravakis does well there to break down the play. Yeah, maybe that was something, just getting back to what I said there, with Skapetis when he was here. Maybe he was just being played out of position. Yeah,
potentially. I'm not sure if it was his preference to play inside or whether it was the coaching staff's choice, but I certainly would prefer to see him used in a wide role. Just again seeing Beraveskos, his pressure on that counter-attack, just shutting down, I think it was Lucas Derrick there. It's another vital intervention from him. I've been impressed with him so far. So he goes in for another challenge here.
Heidelberg trying to keep it short, but they do turn the ball over. Does end up hit at the right back, and Sean Ellis has a chance to be slipped in here. He'll try and bring it down to his left, but doesn't worry about it, and it goes in for an own goal, unfortunately for the Dandenong Thunder, but fortunately for Heidelberg, that puts them 1-0 on the scoreboard, and it was Montefiore with the own goal here in the 12th minute at George Andrews Reserve, and that could be the kickstart Heidelberg need.
Absolutely. I mean, what an opening we've seen to this match, but so unfortunate for Montefiore. I mean, if you get into those dangerous areas, as Sean Ellis so often does, and slide that across the 6-yard box, it was going to be a Thunder player or a Heidelberg player. Someone was putting that in the net, so I wouldn't be I wouldn't be getting too annoyed at that defender for his error. I'm sure he wants the ground to open up right now, though.
Yeah, it's a soft ground here, and that the assistance of the wet ground definitely didn't help Montefiore there, but it's one of those things I'll have to look past the Thunder if they do want to get something out of this game. It's only been 12 minutes, so plenty of time remaining at Dackland Stadium. Clark looking for the long ball, looking for Brendan Barnes, and he'll find him here. Stephen Pace does well though to intercept. Bit of confusion there at the back, and Brendan Barnes puts his hands up for a handball, but gets it on the left peg. It is blocked. It gives Zara a chance to play in Ellis. We'll go back. And a cutout there from Berg again. Doing well to keep him deep here. And a cheap turnover ends up with Carvalho, and the goalkeeper is out of his box. Does find his way back into the central sticks. And Kieran Dover on the edge. We're going to just get the ball in, but playing it too pretty, and they turn it over and give the chance for Heidelberg to counter-attack with some numbers forward. Cartanos looking for Tom Cahill. He will find him with a great ball. And Tom Cahill does well to ride the challenge of Pierce Clark and does another challenge. And a foul is called against Tom Cahill in this situation, just on the edge of the Thunder box. Maybe a bit of a tough call.
I have to admit, I thought the free kick would be going the other way. Tom Cahill's certainly not happy. I thought he was actually the one fouled, but the referee thought differently. We
did well to ride a challenge of the keeper, Pierce Clark, and then a second challenge. I'm with you, Josh. I thought that was going in Heidelberg's favour, but nonetheless, we've got to trust the referee. We only had respect round a couple of weeks ago. That message has been pushed during the week as well on Football Victoria.
Absolutely. He's in a much better position than we are up here, although it's a great viewing angle here at George Andrews Reserve. A very small pitch as well, which seems to be aiding the end-to-end intensity of this game so far.
Yeah, it's a very compact game so far, and no doubt the second half will see it open right up as both teams have plenty to play for at other ends of the table. Sheridan, play back to Pierce Clark. The pitch actually is in pretty decent condition for this time of year, but the 6-yard box, and between that penalty spot, is that one little area on the pitch that can cause a bit of mishap, as we saw before with the own goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure the keepers will be wearing extra long studs tonight. I'll certainly be mindful of the dead patch in front of each goal.
Cass rides a strong challenge there from Adrian Zara. One man that is well known for receiving a very strong challenge from the former Melbourne Victory coach. And Cartanos will win his side a free kick in a dangerous position for Heidelberg. They'll look to get something out of this, and not quite sure what that one was for, but the referee must have seen something a bit closer.
I did see there was a little tap on the ankles on Cartanos. I think it was good refereeing there. Waited for the advantage to accrue. Wasn't there. Pulled it back for the free kick. I think Dandenong more complaining about Zara's strong challenge further up the field. His studs were showing, but he did get the ball, so it's a referee's call there.
Georgopoulos, the culprit there for the Thunder. The ball's whipped in to the penalty spot. And Cahill in with a strong challenge on Pierce Clark there, who isn't too happy with Tom Cahill. Isn't afraid to let him know either.
Bit of a flashpoint there between Tom Cahill and Pierce Clark. Thought it might devolve into something a little bit more sinister, but both players getting on with it.
Well, Tom Clark isn't afraid to shy away from a challenge. We were all aware of that across the NPL, so still letting Sheridan know what he thought of that challenge, but the keepers do get a bit of protection around the grounds at times, Josh.
I think that was always going to be given as a free kick. It didn't need the reaction for Pierce Clark.
And Clark will mishit that. He does find Cass, who does well to lock it in. He'll send it back to Pierce Clark. He'll mishit another one, and Sean Ellis has a chance here to play it long, and he's gone for it. And it will just go to the right-hand side, and that could have been a moment there for Pierce Clark, Josh.
He started very shakily, the goalkeeper, off his line. Sean Ellis is the one player you don't really want to see that one fall to if you're 25, 30 yards out, and the keeper thanking his lucky stars, that one just flashed wide.
Well, he has had a couple of good weeks in the sticks, Pierce Clark, so tonight may be something a little bit different if he doesn't sort of keep an eye on what he's doing there, but a good young keeper, as he does play it short to Sheridan. He'll play it first time with a good ball. Finds Piermont. And it'll be a Thunder throw-in on this near touchline. Carpenter finds the chest of Stephen Pace. Cahill finds Adrian Zara, who puts through Cahill again. The ball comes across, and well defended there at the back from Montefiore, the scorer of the own goal, only moments ago. Does give Heidelberg a corner, but there was definitely another opportunity there, Josh.
Absolutely. Heidelberg getting into dangerous positions again. It seems after that crazy start from the Thunder, normal service has resumed, and the pattern of play that we expected to see in this game has finally arisen. But I think Dandenong Thunder would have taken this if he'd offered them at the start of the game.
Pierce Clark punches it. Doesn't get a good punch, though. A second grab does well just to ease the pressure. And he does release the ball quickly to Piermont, who was open here, but Sean Ellis does quite well after taking the corner to track back. At the start of the broadcast, you said you at the Green Gully Port Melbourne game this afternoon?
I was just watching it on the live stream, but quite an incredible game.
3-3 red card to Green Gully?
They went down to 10 men. They were already trailing 2-1 Green Gully. Port Melbourne scored a third, had up-teen chances to seal it, as Heidelberg are on the attack here.
Cass does well to clear that and gets hacked down in the process. And Pierce Clark again, the goalkeeper, not happy with that challenge.
Yes, Matthew Breeze dismissed for a straight red card in 54 minutes, and it looked as if Port Melbourne were going to cruise to victory, but they wasted opportunity after opportunity, and they are actually punished for it in the end, pulling one back, and then Alex Salmon in the 92nd minute equalising. Unbelievable contest.
Yeah, definitely want to check out on the Facebook page or YouTube page after this game is done. Don't mind watching a game back that's got plenty of goals and a lot of action.
Certainly one to watch back if you haven't seen it already.
Ruben Way does well to win that header. Piermonti just plays it back to Blake Carpenter. Receives the ball back again. It does go down on what I must admit was a non-contact challenge. It was really all ball from Stephen Pace, but the referee saw it different.
Yes, respect round, Rice, respect round, but I have to agree, I don't think that was a foul.
Well, Piermonti does take the ball quick. Heidelberg still setting up, and that man that did give away the foul, Stephen Pace, does clear it. Montefiore plays it long. Off the head again. Bit of aerial ping pong at the moment, and Berevekas does well just to bring it down. A good turn there. Piermonti have a strike. He's gone for the chip and just puts it over the crossbar. Another chance there for the Thunder.
Yeah, good period of pressure. Piermonti has got a sweet left foot, and George Katsakis is having quite the talking to with the fourth official. Still very angry about that foul, even though it came to nothing in the end.
Readied at the back, just going to ball. The kids at the back on unofficial ball boy duties tonight. Gotta love when the kids do that.
Bryce, I think the attendance is a lot more healthy than it looks in the stand, because a lot of people have chosen to remain in their cars with the heaters going, and I can't blame them.
That's a smart move. If we could commentate from the car, probably would have taken that option tonight, as there's a strong challenge again from Ruben Way. He's going to have to watch himself tonight. He's sitting on 4 yellow cards, so a yellow ticket tonight will earn himself a week's break next week against Oakley.
I think that's par for the course with Heidelberg. They're going to go hard into every challenge, no matter what the yellow card stakes are.
Yeah, definitely one of the more physical teams in the NPL Victoria. As the ball's played long to Sean Ellis, the Scotsman. Plays it in, a great ball down this right-hand side, and it's whipped across. Looking for Cahill. The ball's back in again, and Pierce Clark with a great save on his 6-yard box there, and another bit of pressure from Heidelberg.
That's a great save from Pierce Clark. Hasn't had the best of starts to this game with his distribution and so forth, but that was an excellent save and showing why he's one of the better keepers in this division.
Yeah, Wilkins getting some space in this right-hand side as the ball is whipped in, looking for Stephen Pace, and it's cleared by Carvalho for another corner.
Every time Heidelberg get a delivery into that box, it looks dangerous. They are having so many late runners into the area. They're so good in the air. Anything in the vicinity of Tom Cahill is obviously going to be dangerous, but with pace up from the back and so forth, it's tough times here for Danny Thunder. They're going to have to absolutely lock in and concentrate here.
Ball goes to the front post. It's put back in and it's cleared off the line by Dover. Ball comes out. Looking for Sean Ellis. Blake Carpenter does well there just to clear it. They've got a lot of height with particularly Stephen Pace as well floating around the 18-yard box.
Yeah, absolutely. Dominance off set piece is another reason why Heidelberg have been so successful in the last few seasons.
The throw will come deep near the corner flag, and it goes in to the edge of the 6-yard. A big throw, and Pierce Clark just picks up the scraps there and just defuses any potential situation there that could have gone against the home side.
You can see Dandy Thunder have game planned specifically for Tom Cahill's aerial prowess. He's got at least 2 players on him at every set piece, and just like his legendary Socceroos namesake, he's an absolute weapon in the air.
Ellis does well to bring it down with a great touch, and he goes down on the edge of the box. Nothing doing there, says the referee. Zara, another challenge, and he's happy with that challenge as well, and it gives the Thunder a chance to break. Kieran Dover. Play out to Piermont, who just takes a bad touch and turns it straight over, and Stephen Payson's up on it. Kartanos. Can keep your comments coming through the Facebook Live. We've got plenty of viewers both through Facebook and YouTube as well. Hope you're enjoying the coverage so far. It's a very chilly night here in Melbourne. I'm going to say definitely between 5 and 7 degrees.
Classic Melbourne weather. It's football weather. That's all I can say.
Yeah, one of the only clubs that does play the late Saturday night games now, or the traditional Saturday night game of 7 o'clock. A lot of clubs opting to go a bit earlier in the winter months, which is, to be fair, probably not bad for a spectator comfort level.
Right, I was down at the Veneto Club last Saturday, 8:30 kickoff for Melbourne City versus Langwarrin in NPL 2. As yellow card is dished out here for the referee. Might be from combination of dissent from Adrian Zara. He was having a long discussion from the referee earlier. Seems to have given him an earful once again, and he's earned himself a yellow ticket.
He's playing in a deeper role tonight. We have seen him the last couple of weeks in the wide areas, but Kartanos is occupying that position tonight. As we see Sean Ellis turn over, and Cahill with a great touch to Zara. Just got the yellow card, and Berevekas does well to track back there and defuse the situation. He'll play it short. Thunder do well just to keep the ball here. Great bit of play from Carpenter, and Kieran Dover will end up with it here on the near touch line. He'll ride the touch line too, and it does remain on the line. But the linesman does have a better view than us and says that the ball has crossed the line.
That high press from Heidelberg. They've forced a lot of turnovers in that midfield third area. Danny Thunder are going to having to be careful with their distribution out that area.
Ruben Way plays in Kartanos. Brings down Cass, but the referee lets the advantage go.
Excellent advantage from the referee there as Georgopoulos comes forward, but he just can't find the feet of Brandon Barnes. And if Dandy Thunder want to get back into that lead, they're going to have to involve Barnes more than they have in the last 5 minutes.
Derek trying to get an end of that ball there from Kartanos. But the Thunder do well to win themselves a throw-in deep on that far touchline. It's something that in the last 10 to 15 minutes or so, the Thunder, they're getting forward, but just can't quite make that final pass in the final third.
It was clicking spectacularly in the first 5 minutes for Dandenong Thunder. Now, not so much. It's been a little bit disjointed, but if they can actually pick out Barnes and then play off him, he will look for the runners if he's got them.
Kartanos plays back to Ruben Way, looking for Tom Cahill. Just mishits the pass there. But it results favourably for Heidelberg with the throw-in. We've also got some games coming up tomorrow as well, Josh. The rescheduled Oakley-Altona game tomorrow at Jack Edwards Reserve, 4:15 kickoff. As we see a chance to go forward here. Brandon Barnes gets slipped in. He takes a big touch on his left foot, gets around and finds the back of the net. Brandon Barnes in the 27th minute puts the Dandenong Thunder up and says, boys, let's go on a roll here. It's 2-1 in favour of the Dandenong Thunder.
You can't let him go for a minute, and you cannot make a mistake like Wilkins just did there. Shocking turnover, lets Brandon Barnes through on goal, and he just doesn't miss those. He's a goal-scoring machine.
That was a goal, literally out of nothing. A cheap turnover in the middle from Heidelberg, and two players going forward, outnumbered two in defence, and a great ball there to put in Brandon Barnes, who did take a heavy touch, but did well to reset himself. and find the back of the net by drawing out Readied to go up 2-1 on the scoreboard in the 28th minute.
Just beautiful balance. Fantastic dribbling from Brandon Barnes. Tucks it into the empty net, going round Readied. That is fantastic. Off either foot, he's lethal. He's proved it twice tonight.
Peter saying on the Facebook Live, Barnes is back. Well, given his form the last couple of weeks, you can't argue with that because that is 4 goals in the space of 2 weeks. Both goals coming too in each game in the first half, so maybe he's become a first half specialist.
Well, Brandon Barnes is certainly back in form after a bit of a slow start to the season by his lofty standards. Maybe needed a few weeks to play himself into fitness, but he is definitely at the peak of his powers right now.
Maybe he just likes waiting for winter with the cooler months. The Englishman could be his kind of thing. If anyone's going to be used to playing in these kind of conditions, it's definitely Brandon Barnes.
Well, to be honest, I did see him before the season started, and he seemed to have packed on a few pounds, if I'm honest. But he's certainly shed them in the past couple of months and looks in tip-top shape now as he gets the ball.
Tries to bring it down there, but Wilkins does well. Some good pressure from Brandon Barnes and does well to intercept the pass there. And that's the sort of work from your skipper that you need, and the rest of your squad applaud him, and that's the kind of attitude that we need to see from the Thunder.
Absolutely. He's leading from the front, and every little bit of pressure encourages his teammates behind him. I mean, this is a fantastic first half from the Dandy Thunder. 2-1 up against last season's champions. Certainly Heidelberg with a bit of work to do here.
And he has got a bit of a heavy workload on his shoulders tonight, Brandon Barnes, because he is playing the lone striker. And his 2 wingers really are dropping deep to help out the defence. So he's really going one-on-one with Stephen Pace and Luke Bowler. So he's done quite well to get on the score sheet twice in the opening 29 minutes as we see Berg just play it back to Sheridan. Looking for Barnes, but he's in an offside position. And Stephen Pace brings it down. Berg with the intercept. And just takes a late touch off that man to be a Heidelberg throw-in with Wilkins. Plays up the line, looking for Cahill. A good intercept from Blake Carpenter. Ball played in. Looking for Georgopoulos. Zara does well to ride the challenge there from Dover.
We've had Sebastian come through on the Facebook Live asking, how is it that Brandon Barnes, somebody tell me why he isn't in the A-League? Well, we have had him on FNR a few times. We've spoken to him. He's certainly open to a move to the professional ranks. It's just he is an English visa player, and it seems the A-League clubs haven't been willing to expend that visa spot on him just yet. But if he keeps up this form, it's going to be difficult to deny the talent that he has.
Yeah, definitely. And the rumours of Western United, too, are floating around the NPL in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, since Johnny Hayes left Bentley, he's been doing the rounds to multiple games as the ball slipped in from Piermont. But now he's not aligned to an NPL Victoria club. He's had the chance to get around a fair bit. It's good to see them as well getting to a lot of schools around Geelong, too, to promote themselves. But it's a tough one for a player like Brandon Barnes, as you said, because he does take up a visa spot. And really, there's a lot of quality visa players in the A-League.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty competitive for those spots, although, I mean, it's difficult to say that Brandon Barnes couldn't slot in a couple of clubs. I do have it on pretty good authority that if that Team 11, the Dandenong A-League bid, had been approved, Brandon Barnes would have signed for Team 11. So maybe the new expansion clubs, obviously Western United coming in next season, Southwest Sydney MacArthur, they could do worse than have a look at him.
Yeah, maybe the new second division that they announced could be happening from 2020. Could be a prospect for a club. Maybe like Dandenong Thunder and Heidelberg, they've expressed interest over the years of a national second division. Obviously done quite well in the FA Cup, in the National Premier League's finals too, as the ball is taken to the byline here. And the Thunder do quite well to keep that in through Blake Carpenter. And Brandon Barnes with a great dummy there, leaves the ball for Georgopoulos, who plays another great ball in to Carvalho. Looking for that early ball, just can't quite get it past Ruben Way. It's good to see there is actually now a working group on this national second division, which, to be fair, there'd be a lot of clubs, I think, particularly in Victoria and here in Melbourne, especially, putting their hands up for that new league if it was to take off.
Absolutely. I think there are a lot of the old NSL powerhouses who'd be very keen to be involved. Obviously, South Melbourne, Melbourne Knights, Heidelberg, maybe even Preston Lions, who are languishing in State League 1 at the moment, but still got a huge dormant fan base. Can only be a good thing for the game, especially the NPL clubs in this region. Yeah,
there was figures floating around of having a base set up of 2.5 million, which does seem a lot for NPL Victoria clubs. As we see Tom Cahill go across the face, puts onto his left foot, goes to ground, and the referee does pull that one up for a foul against Sheridan. Just on the edge of the D, in a very dangerous position for the Thunder, and Pierce Clark will have to be on his toes here because there's a lot of set-piece specialists, particularly Sean Ellis.
I was going to say, this is Sean Ellis territory right here. Obviously, they'll have a few competing to take it, Heidelberg. They've got a lot of set-piece quality, but yeah, I can just see him whipping his left foot around this.
There's a few contenders around the ball at the moment. Ellis is one of them. A known set-piece specialist in the NPL Victoria. We've got 3 over the ball. Who's it going to be, Josh?
Sean Ellis, top right corner. Watch it happen.
The wall is quite close. Referee's happy with it, and it does come from Sean Ellis for that top right corner, and a peach of a free kick, as you call it, Josh.
What did I tell you? Sean Ellis, that is his range. Bread and butter every day of the week. 2-2. Heidelberg turn to Sean Ellis once again for the equaliser.
So effortless too. Just watching that from a great vantage point that we have here at George Andrews Reserve. I could watch that all day because literally he just dinked it in.
I already had visualised it in my mind, Bryce, and so had Sean Ellis apparently. It's just, he makes it look so easy, but it is anything but to get it up and down over that wall. Fantastic technique from the midfield magician.
Just watching it back on the highlights, and I tell you what, it wasn't even putting at pace. It was just precision at its best, and it goes to 2-2 on the scoreboard at George Andrews Reserve. Get your comments coming through. Maybe you're a big fan of that free kick from Sean Ellis. Maybe you're a Thunder fan encouraging your boys out of the relegation zone. Now, after tonight's game, we still have 8 rounds remaining in the NPL Victoria season as it stands, and it is getting quite tight towards the bottom as Dean Piermont tries to unleash, but it is blocked by Wilkins. Comes back to Dover. Comes back to Carpenter. We'll just stay with play for the moment here as Carpenter does play it in to Georgopoulos, looking for that run of Carpenter. And it's played long. Great intercept by Kieran Dover. Beravekis. The Thunder applying pressure around the edge of the 18-yard. Doing quite well to keep it. And a good intercept over there on the far side from the goal scorer in Sean Ellis. I think the key thing tonight for the Thunder is not to panic in this situation. They've gone up twice. They've copped a goal twice. But going into half-time, I think if you're the Thunder coaching staff, you'd probably take 2-2 going into the half-time break.
I think definitely they would have taken level going into half-time. It's obviously been quite a chaotic game end-to-end. Fantastic for us neutrals, but for Dandy Thunder, like I said, just have to just consolidate this this level scoreline that they've got. They obviously have the capacity to hurt Thunder, especially in transition, as they try and find Brandon Barnes again.
He'll lock it in that right-hand corner. He'll whip it in to the back post, looking for Kieran Dover, who does well to meet it, but just finds the hands of Theatre Readied, who will quick release and just turn it straight over. And Dean Piermonti has some space here. Plays in Dover, who gets a turn in. Does well and then brings down Zara. Just with a bit of a hand over the shoulder.
This is a completely different Thunder side to what I saw earlier in the season. I was calling their game a Hume at ABD Stadium, and they were totally disjointed. They were trying to play a back three. It wasn't working. They were lofting long balls, never getting Brandon Barnes involved. This is a completely different Thunder side. If they keep this form up for the rest of the season, I think they will get out of that relegation zone.
They have got a massive clash coming up in 2 weeks here. The Dandenong Derby. Obviously, much talk about Dandenong City in the last couple of weeks, signing some big-name A-League plays, flashing the cash, as social media likes to call it, the last couple of weeks. But it's worked for them. They're getting a lot of good results, like they did last night at Knight Stadium. And at the stands, they're only 2 points above Denny Thunder, so that could be a very crucial clash, not only for the Dandenong region, but in terms of the relegation battle.
Honestly, I think Dandy City have their sights set on bigger things this season as Heidelberg come forward through Cahill.
Plays out to Sean Ellis, who's got on his left foot and skies it over the crossbar. Not something you normally see with Sean Ellis, Josh.
Uncharacteristic miss there. What an opportunity for Heidelberg to go up heading into the break. But Sean Ellis just didn't get his head over the ball. Usually you see that him put that away time and time again.
Well, if you have just joined us, we did see an own goal in the 8th minute, courtesy of Modafiari. Probably won't want a reminder of that, but maybe that box is a little bit slippery, and that's why we've seen a few strange things happening, as we have seen Pierce Clark spray a few goal kicks, so maybe it is quite soft. He does connect with this one, fortunately for him.
That's maybe generous on Sean Ellis, but yeah, certainly not easy to get your grip in that 6-yard box.
Look, he's just scored a great free kick. He's got some brownie points with us at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's at least level on the scoreboard there. But
friendly reminder as well, tonight, if you've been watching the Women's World Cup, the Matildas, they're in action 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. You can either pull an all-nighter or do what I'll be doing, going to bed and waking up at 4:59 to switch on and watch the girls.
I think that's the move. Staying up till 5 is a little beyond me, I think.
If you've got a game tomorrow afternoon like myself, you're definitely getting a bit of sleep tonight where you have the chance as the ball gets played in, comes back out, and Blake Carpenter does well to intercept it. Receives the ball back from Piermont and looking to slip in Brendan Barnes, who is fortunately for the Heidelberg backline called offside. Stephen Pace, the 150 gamer for Heidelberg, applauding the assistant referee with a very tight call. Probably got the right one there though.
I think he was just the wrong side of the last defender there, Brandon Barnes. He actually miscontrolled the pass anyway, so maybe he's thankful that the flag went up and his blushes were spared. But what a ball from Blake Carpenter. Fantastic pass.
Thunder definitely being a lot more adventurous tonight than they have been the last couple of weeks. Even last week, they got the lead and they just tried to park the bus effectively, and they held out to half-time, but the second half, our Turner Magic just really ran over the top of them, as it was a 3-2 result in the home side's favour last week, who went out in the FA Cup midweek to the Moreland Zebras. Obviously, a bit of a different lineup, having a lot of players cup-tied from who played last Saturday night against Dandy Thunder.
It was a surprising result, especially after watching Moreland City take care of Moreland Zebras 3-0 the week previous. But Moreland Zebras do have a talented squad, and fantastic for them to get through to the national stage.
Ball comes out wide to Cartanos to switch sides. Looks to whip the ball in. Look for Derek, who gets a hold of it. And can't quite find Cahill on that second pass. Be quite interesting this year, actually, to see how the likes of Moreland Zebras and Bulleen Lions go. Of course, not being in the top flight in Victoria, but if they draw a big name from interstate, maybe a Brisbane Strikers or one of the big New South Wales teams, that'll be a strong challenge for them.
Or even an A-League club. But Bulleen Lions, I think they got a couple of early goals against, who was it?
St Albans.
Dynamo St Albans, yes. And they basically just sat back for the rest of the game and decided enough was enough. They were clinging for dear life in the second half after DJ Omaboy pulled one back, but late penalty sealed things. I think they'll have to adopt a little bit more of a positive approach if they want to get past the next round. But certainly, when you score 2 goals in the first 5 minutes, maybe your game plan changes somewhat.
Well, that's the thing. If you're an NPL 2 team like Bulleen or Moreland Zebras, are you chasing that elusive cup tie against an A-League team first up, thinking, you know what, just get them in the round of 32?
I think that's what you're there for. I don't think any NPL2 team is realistically thinking they're going to go all the way and win the FFA Cup. I think they just want to face the biggest opponent possible and get one of those great cup occasions.
Dean Piermont trying to slip in Brendan Barnes, who is called offside. Much to the disagreement of the Thunder faithful over in the grandstand tonight. There's a fog starting to set in here, and it's not even half time. This could be a interesting second 45 here. As you keep saying, it's quite cool. I can't feel my feet. You've got a nice cup of tea with you. You're very smart.
I planned for it, unlike last week.
Well, the person that was going to be commentating with me, Demir, called in sick, had the flu. I'm battling a bit of man flu as well, but we hope Demir gets better and joins us next week on the call. Cartanos. Stephen Pace finding Luke Biles. Does well to fake the pass there and find a second one with Ruben Way. Cahill does well to turn. Riding the challenge there of Georgopoulos, and the referee again calls this up. Not too dissimilar position from where Sean Ellis put the free kick in only about 10 minutes ago.
It's interesting. It seems to be that Heidelberg have license to swap positions at will, judging by the conversation going on the sideline. A lot of leaders on the field. It's very interesting the way they tend to operate.
It's in the nicest way possible. Who's making the calls, the players or the coach?
sometimes feels to me like Heidelberg are the best possible park team you've ever seen in your life. They have a little bit more of a, I don't know, democratic approach, shall we say?
Sean Ellis with the free kick again, looking for the far left side, and unfortunately this time for him, can't quite find the target. As we see the clock come up to the 43rd minute at George Andrews Reserve. Keep your comments coming through the Facebook live stream. Let us know what your thoughts are on this game so far. A lot of Burgers fans, Ruby saying, come on Burgers. You see the referee just say that his fourth official 2 minutes of added time, so that will go up on the board in about a minute or so. Wilkins plays a slow pass back. Theatre Readies. And Kieran Dover almost breaks that down, but it does go long again for Tom Cahill. The big body up top. Montefiore does well to win that, but it does end up with Sean Ellis, who turns Cass. Georgopoulos does well to stop the play momentarily. And Derek now spreads the ball wide to Cartanos. Takes on Carpenter, and this time Carpenter wins out. And again, you can see the style of play that Thunder are looking to implement here, as Stephen Pace does bring down Brendan Barnes. As soon as Blake Carpenter gets the ball, Josh, the ball's going straight high and long to Brendan Barnes.
I think those two have a little bit of connection there, and that's certainly part of the game plan. As soon as Carpenter gets it on that sweet left foot of his, Brandon Barnes is off on the run, and that's been pretty successful for them so far, that combination.
Well, Carpenter did start the season when he was being used as a higher attacking player, and the switch left back seems to have done wonders for him and his game time as well, as we see Sheridan receive the ball back. Looking for a short option, going to be forced to use Pierce Clark, who can open it up but doesn't decide to use that option. The players are saying just let him know he had the right-hand side open, which he did. He had Montefiore there in acres of space, and it numbers down the right-hand side. Wilkins finds a header Cahill. Carvalho does well there to win that header over Cartanos. As you see, 2 minutes put up on the board from the fourth official. Both sides will definitely be looking forward to the break. It's been a pretty end-to-end first half, Josh.
Very entertaining half. Pretty chaotic end-to-end. It's great NPL football. That's what we like to see.
Definitely not what we thought at the start of this 45 minutes. We thought we'd see goals, but more in favour of the team in yellow. But it's definitely not been the case tonight. It's a very competitive match so far as the ball's thrown in. Berebekas. Cahill does try and bring it down. Has got Thunder players around him. Georgopoulos turns the ball over, and the assistant referee on this near touchline does wave offside, and the ball's played long to Brendan Barnes, who's one-on-one with pace, and the ball just mishit. But some great work there from Blake Carpenter just to put the Flames out on a potential attack there for Heidelberg. And the players in no rush to put this ball back into play. Referee just asking the Heidelberg player, Wilkins, just to come back a little bit. Trying to take every metre he can. Cahill. Right to challenge of Carpenter. Throne will come in here from this near touchline. Looking for Cahill again. Piermont is trying to get the ball up long. Mishits it. But that second ball does come long. And will go out on the halfway line. And that will be the halftime whistle from the referee. The halftime score, 2 apiece. Dandenong Thunder 2, Heidelberg 2. And Josh, your thoughts on the first half?
It's been a fantastic game. Dandy Thunder, certainly big turnout for the books, taking the lead twice, but Heidelberg, such a resilient outfit. Probably the most resilient side in the league. They're not going to let this get to them. And, you know, coming in 2 at the break, I think you'd have to favour Heidelberg in the second half, but certainly going to be excitement and goals to come after the break.
All to play for in the second half. We'll be back in a roughly 10 minutes' time. Grab yourself a nice warm coffee, rug up, because we've got a big second half on the way here at George Andrews Reserve. Welcome back for the second half at George Andrews Reserve in this big round 18 clash between the Dandenong Thunder and Heidelberg. If you've just joined us, the current score 2 apiece. We saw 2 goals to Brandon Barnes for the home side, an own goal from the Thunder for the first notch on the scoreboard for Heidelberg, and then a brilliant Sean Ellis free kick. Bryce Ruthven joined by Josh Parrish, and Josh was a great free kick.
It was a beautiful free kick, didn't I tell you? Left foot, top corner. He does it every time, Sean Ellis. He's reliable as anything, but Heidelberg are going to need more than that if they're going to get back into the lead and take 3 points. We all expected them to roll over Dandy Thunder, but it's been a little bit more complicated than that, and it's going to be a very interesting second half.
Well, it's a chilly 8 degrees here in Dandenong, but the action we're hoping is a lot hotter than that, because that will probably make the next 45 minutes quite bearable as the referee gets us underway, and Sheridan goes long to the far touchline looking for Blake Carpenter. Ellis on the ball, finds Cahill, finds Derek, goes back out wide to Ellis, who stayed on that right touchline. Gets the ball around for Cartanos, and Derek does well to ride the challenge there, just trying to get loose, and finds the back of the net with a bit of craftsmanship on the edge of the 18-yard box and puts Heidelberg 3-2 up, not even a minute into the second half.
How did he create space there? Lucas Derrick, absolutely brilliant. Looked like it was going to fizzle out to nothing, but a little drag back, creating that space on the right foot, and shoots across goal out of absolutely nothing. Heidelberg take an early lead in this second half.
The perfect start for the Burgers to take the early lead, and it's just been one of those games, Josh. We saw it with Dandenong Thunder going up after 90 seconds in the first half through Brendan Barnes, and it's taken less time, 20 seconds, not even.
Seems like every second shot is going in tonight. It's bonkers.
Well, if you are joining us on the Facebook live stream, feel free to let your comments come through. Let us know your thoughts on this crazy game so far. You see Beravekis just play the ball short for Piermont. Not on the same page, unfortunately, though. And the Thunder just a little bit rattled by this early goal. Not the start they would have been looking for to this second half. As you see Ruben Way just swing it into the back post, hoping for Sean Ellis just to make the run forward. And Wilkins goes for a miracle shot from about 30 yards out and puts it over into the back park. And Pierce Clark will restart.
Thought my car windshield was under threat there, Bryce.
Is that where you parked tonight?
Foolish, I know. It was a hurried decision.
You definitely got here late to park over there.
Absolutely.
Pierce Clark getting ready to reset. If you've just joined us for this start of the second half, the first half, very entertaining. It was end-to-end stuff, quite compact, but still had plenty of goals as the scoreboard shows, and expecting much of the same this second half as we see the ball played on the left-hand channel with Carpenter. Thunder just looking to settle into this second half, but just can't quite find their rhythm. And Heidelberg, with all their experience, they're showing it already in these early stages.
Heidelberg, you can never count them out of any game. They've been behind twice this evening, now they're in front, and that's just what Heidelberg do.
Yep, looking to try and chase down the Bentley Greens in second spot, only a point behind. And tonight, as we see Derek again with a chance, and Tom Cahill slits it in and trying to find Ellis, can't quite find him. Derek having a great start to this second half. And Cartanos is called offside on this near touchline, and the influence of Derek already. Maybe there's been a bit of a slight tweak in formation for Heidelberg, but Derek's just come firing out of the blocks.
Seems as if he's playing more central this half, and he's certainly been threatening early. Already scored, and some fancy footwork on that play. I think Tom Cahill just needs to pull the trigger there. He tried to play a little bit of almost walk it into the net, roll it into the path of Sean Ellis, but when he's inside the box, just pull the trigger, Tom Cahill. That's what he usually does.
Yeah, a lot of the players tonight struggling to get their feet. It is a bit of a damp surface at George Andrews Reserve tonight, but no rain at the moment, just damp conditions due to the very cold temperatures here in the southeast. As you see Pierce Clark get the ball back, and Derek again with some great pressure, and Pierce Clark brings him down. The referee says nothing's doing, but does award Heidelberg a corner.
Usually the goalkeeper gets the benefit of the doubt in that situation. I think so it proved Although a lot of referees maybe would have blown for a free kick for obstruction.
Derek has just remained down on the surface here. Does get back to his feet, and we'll look for the short corner. Cartanos over it at the moment. He'll ignore it and he'll go to the back post, looking for Cahill. Always strong at the back post there. And the ball's flicked back in, finds Ruben Way. Wasn't expecting it, trying to get onto his left foot and find some freedom. And he puts it straight across the face of goal, and it was almost going top right.
Yeah, brilliant bit of work again by the Heidelberg attack, trying to find space where there didn't seem to be space, but Ruben Way pulling the trigger across goal. If it found the head of a teammate, maybe a happy accident, because I think he was going for goal there, but only a foot or two away from that top right corner.
Yeah, big game tonight for Stephen Pace, the centre-back, the veteran for the Burgers, notching up 150 games for the men in yellow, so a big congratulations to him. So far having a decent performance as well in his 150th milestone game. How long can he go around for, do you think? How many years can we get out of Stephen Pace?
He looks just as good as when he signed for the club, honestly. Doesn't look like, ironically, given his name, he's not a player who does rely on his pace. So he's someone who I think will have that longevity for a lot longer yet.
Of course, did spend time with the Melbourne Victor in the early days of the A-League before coming to Heidelberg. As we see Tom Cahill just spread the ball wide to Wilkins. Looking for Derek again, just a slight touch there from Georgopoulos. Ball comes in from Cartanos across the face. And Kieran Dover more than happy just to get rid of that ball in the central part of the field. And it comes back to the captain, Luke Biles. He'll play it into Adrian Zara. And again, Derek comes in. And it's Sheridan with a strong challenge there on the third goal scorer. And he'll earn himself a yellow card. And another dangerous position here for the Thunder to try and battle with.
Could be a cross, could be a shot from here. It's going to be a toss-up, but yeah, a very late tackle there from Sheridan and deservedly earns himself a yellow card.
Yeah, one man that had a very different start than most players to the NPL season with an illness forcing him off the sidelines, but it's great to see him make a return to the NPL and back to the soccer field in general. Cartanos, he'll be left for this one here. Going for a very strong strike, and Pierce Clark had to be on his toes for that one because it was on target.
Saw it all the way, but the ball did seem to have a bit of movement. Pierce Clark just a little bit unsure as he was gathering that one as Thunder come away on the break.
Blake Carpenter rides the challenge there and does well to win his side. A free kick in the Thunder attacking half. And the Thunder players asking for the ball to have a quick switch. But the referee just holds up play for a second. It still is open on the right-hand side if they can make the big switch, but Berovekis looks like he's going to go long here, urging his players to get forward to the edge of the 18. He does take that long option, but really nothing doing there for the Thunder. Only Brendan Barnes to aim for, and there's a quick release here for Ruben Way. Cartanos does well to find Way again. Berovekis comes across just to fuse the situation. Ruben Way looking to get the ball back in nice and early because they have got some numbers forward. Plays down the line for Cartanos. Finds Cahill. Doing well in the slippery conditions. Ball comes down and it will end up being a Heidelberg throw-in just deep near the corner flag.
I think Heidelberg's still complaining about the foul from several moments earlier, but came to nothing, and they're on the attack now, so focus on the play there.
It'll be Ruben Way. Ball slips out of his hands, but still makes a bit of ground. Cahill just holding up on the edge. Finds Wilkins, looking for that second ball, but Ellis can't find him, and a chance to break here for the Thunder through Kieran Dover. Sean Ellis does well to track back and win the ball. Some great defending there from the Scotsman, and he'll put a great ball in equally to find Wilkins, and he does well there. Plays the ball across for Cahill. It's a touch off to Ellis. And he goes down the edge of the 18. The referee waves it away. Zara. Bit of crafty footwork there. Just to take it over Georgopoulos, who's not the tallest man, but he still does well to find that retrieval. Kartanos. Riding a strong challenge from Cass and does very well to break that challenge. And he'll spread it out to the right-hand side to Wilkins, who's got plenty of space. Whips the ball in, looking for the penalty spot in Cahill. And Ellis has some time if he can bring it down. And he goes on his right foot and it ends up being a corner to Heidelberg. Some great play there from the Burgers. Absolutely
mesmerising stuff. Bit of magic first from Adrian Zara, the sombrero flicking it over his opponent. That's why you practice juggling, kids. And then Kartanos with some excellent footwork to get it out of that left-hand corner. Fantastic passage of play from Heidelberg, showing why they are the reigning NPL Victoria champions.
Yeah, they've got full control of this game at the moment. 3-2 up on the scoreboard, the 54th minute. And basically all the possession since that goal 20 seconds in to the second half. As we see a bit of fog creep in here, and also the ball coming into the back post. We've got 4 players down, including a keeper. And Christian Carvalho has a chance here to break. But some great hold-up play from Stephen Pace and Paul O'Brien. They've really got Dandenong Thunder smothered at the moment.
Well, ironically, I think Danny Thunder are maybe more dangerous the less possession they have, based on how they scored their goals. But certainly Heidelberg in the ascendancy here to start the second half.
Yeah, just haven't quite found their groove yet. Not the start that they were looking for. And Carvalho just cops a bit of an ankle tap and doesn't have the chance to go forward due to that little knock. And Derek does well to work in with Cahill. Just a bit too quick for both of them there. And Cass looks for the long option. But Brendan Barnes just is on the same page. And the coaching staff say to Cass, knock him into the corner, give him some space to work with. Montefiore. Ball slips off and Cass completely misses that ball. And some clean-up work by Sheridan required. With Beravekis finding the feet of Brendan Barnes, who looks the short option, but no one really on the same page as Brendan Barnes at the moment.
I think that might have been his first touch of the half, Bryce.
Yeah, potentially. As the ball's played long to Cahill. One man that's had plenty of involvement in this second half. Brendan Barnes again. Taking on the skipper in Luke Biles. He whips the ball to the front post. And Kieran Dover works with Christian Carvalho. And Brendan Barnes goes for the big shot and puts it across the face of goal. That could have been 3-3, and unfortunately for the Thunder faithful, not to be, Josh.
Could have been and should have been 3-3. Brandon Barnes normally does not miss those chances. A crafty little backheel by, I think it was Carvalho there in the build-up. Just release Brandon Barnes through on goal, and he has just blazed that way, way over the target.
Edge of the 6-yard box. You'd put the house on Brandon Barnes scoring from that kind of position to get himself a hat-trick, but just try and knock the leather off the ball, and what do they say coming up through the grades? Just find the corner.
Pick your spot. But far be it for us to tell Brandon Barnes how to score goals.
Absolutely, for sure. Little disclaimer on there if Brandon watches this back on the Facebook live stream. We'll take some tips off him any day. As Montefiore goes back to Pierce Clark. Plays it out to Sheridan. Goes short to Beravakis. And Georgopoulos takes a heavy touch, and it's a turnover to Heidelberg in a good attacking position. No rush here from Wilkins on the far side in front of the grandstand. As you can see, everyone in attendance really rugged up here tonight. 7 degrees in Melbourne southeast. Always known as one of the cooler parts of Melbourne, particularly this time of the year. As you see a chance go begging there from Adrian Zara. Just looking to add to the scoreboard, but just scuffs his shot to the left. .57 minutes gone. Pierce Clark over this one with the goal kick. Beravekis trying to get his troops up and about in this second half because they've started quite flat compared to the first half performance from the Thunder. And Georgopoulos finds the ball in the middle. Has to go short and receives it again. Some great footwork there from Georgopoulos. Plays in Beravekis. Goes to the long option and isn't happy with himself in that pass. And that's one man that should be warm because he's in full skins. He's in a full skin suit. Can we call it the Kathy Freeman 2000 Olympic suit?
It just needs the hood. He's head to toe.
Probably wouldn't be too displeased not to have a hood on tonight. If you could play soccer in a beanie, you'd probably take that option here tonight. Ball's played long up the line. And Blake Carpenter not too happy with that pass there. Yeah. And we will see the referee come back for an offside call in that passage of play there. Not too much of a hurry here from the Heidelberg players. Quite content to sit on this 3-2 lead with 30 minutes remaining.
I think now is when the coaches start looking to their benches. It looks like we will see a change coming up shortly. We'll keep you posted on that. I think Faisy from Dandenong Thunder would be the attacking option if they're looking for attacking change, given they're trailing here.
Les Dumbalis being readied down below us here on the Heidelberg bench, getting some instructions. Brendan Barnes holds it up well. Brings in the play Dean Piermont on the left-hand side. They've got some numbers in the post. And they do go for that front post option. Back post had the numbers, but unfortunately Piermont just couldn't quite find his pass. Kieran Dover in the middle. Now looking for Brendan Barnes. And the ball's headed wide in favour of Brendan Barnes, who does well to hold it up. But unfortunately, the assistant referee doesn't agree, and Brendan Barnes is not happy one bit with that call. To be fair, I do think that last touch did come off Brendan Barnes' right foot.
I think it was a loose touch, and I think that's why he's annoyed with himself rather than the assistant referee, or at least he should be.
Ruben Way. He'll put this one back into play for Heidelberg. Goes along with the throw. Finds Derek. And Modifiari just overriding Sheridan there, saying, let's just play it safe. Get it back to Pierce Clark, who goes long. Looking for Christian Carvalho, just comes off the top of his head. Goes into the hands of Ruben Way for a throw-in. Plays down Adrian Zara. Great turn there to beat Beravekis. Does well again to beat him a second time out and goes down just on the edge of the box. Zara complaining it's not inside the box, but the right call there from the referee. Rode many challenges there, but he's come back to the first challenge. Some great refereeing there.
Certainly, that's what we like to see. Trying to let advantage accrue, if at all possible, but crucially bringing back it for the original offence. And another really threatening set-piece opportunity here for Heidelberg with Stephen Pace again up from the back. Tom Cahill in the box. Lucas Derrick's got some height in there as well.
And Cartanos whips it into the back post, looking for Wilkins. Can't quite find him, but does find a head of a Dandenong Thunder player, and it will be a corner on the far-hand side. They're getting plenty of chances here. Can't complain if you're the Heidelberg coaching staff.
Certainly, whatever was said at halftime in the changing rooms has worked. They've been completely on top this half. This is the kind of pattern of play we expected at the very beginning of this game. It's taken a while, but they are on top well and truly, and they should be doubling their advantage sooner rather than later.
Ellis was in a great ball. Pierce Clark does get the hand to it to push it wide. Ruben Way, he'll bring it here on this near touch line. Come back to look central, but it's Gussie's pass, and Cass looking long for Brendan Barnes. Can't quite find the pass right, but Paul O'Brien does turn it over. And it'll give the chance for Cass to play long, looking for Kieran Dover. O'Brien happy just to knock it out, give the chance for the Burgers to reset. And Cass gets the ball from halfway and looks for a quick option. And Kieran Dover does well to whip the ball in, but he just can't quite find that mark. And it will give Heidelberg the chance to make their first substitution of the night with Les Dumbalis coming on to replace Cartanos. So a like-for-like swap. Dumbalis will just slot into this wing, and a good night at the office for Cartanos.
Absolutely. It's some excellent work, especially in the start this second half as well. And Les Dumbalis seems to be dropping into a left-back role for starters, with Ruben Way pushing further up the field to occupy the position that his number perhaps more suits.
Probably something Ruben Way will be in favour of, some more attacking opportunities. They do have some space on this left-hand side, as he's already had it. So getting a lot higher up the park will give him a bit more room to work with as we see the ball come back in a great header, won by Georgopoulos. Just to break the play down. And Stephen Pace looking to clear it, but it's blocked by Dean Piermont.
It's one thing I do like about this Heidelberg side. Very versatile, very interchangeable parts. Seems to be a lot of players who can play a variety of positions and switch throughout the game and throughout the season, which makes them a little bit less predictable.
Yeah, they certainly have built a squad where they've got multiple options in every position, even the goalkeeper as well. The reserve keeper is the former Brisbane Roar keeper in Brendan White, who hasn't actually seen any minutes yet in the NPL since moving down south.
Amazing, from playing A-League with Brisbane Roar to sitting on the bench in NPL, but I suppose that's just the strength and depth that Heidelberg United have.
Well, he probably could have hung around Queensland and the NPL up there and got plenty of game time, but maybe just wanted to chase an option down here and maybe find himself a contract in Melbourne with an A-League team, looking for a second keeper, possibly Western United, maybe the Victory or even Melbourne City. So I think his first hope is just to get some game time here at Heidelberg and go from there, as we see Pierce Clark, the Dandenong Thunder keeper. He's creeping forward with the ball. Gets his ball knocked on Tom Cahill. Not too happy that he didn't get a clean touch on that. But need he not worry as Heidelberg win a turnover here. And it'll be a yellow card given to Dean Piermont for the Thunder for his challenge on Adrian Zara. And they just hug it out. Obviously good mates off the pitch, those two. But when you cross that white line, that word friendship goes out the window.
Certainly does. But nice to see they were able to kiss and make up after the decision was made. Seems to be another substitute being readied on the sideline.
We'll see Wilkins to play it long. Finds ahead of Cahill. Stephen Pace mistimes that pass, and it could be crucial because Brendan Barnes plays a great ball in to Christian Carvalho. The substitute, Dumbalis, does well, though, to beat him. The fresh legs helping, but gets a clearance only as far as Zara, but Cass does well just to break down that play. Dumbalis goes long. Cass in a battle with Cahill. Two big men. And Sheridan plays it safe, heads it home to Pierce Clark. Retrieves the ball again. Hasn't got too many options in front. Has to go back to Pierce Clark, who will go long this time. Scuffs another pass, but this time finds Carvalho, fortunately. Finds Cass, and Carvalho rides a challenge of Zara and has some room to work with. Plays a great ball in for Dover, who's drawn out the keeper. The keeper does stay out and does slide in with a challenge and wins the ball. Readied just pumps it into the car park, gives himself a chance to get back into sticks.
Going on a bit of a walkabout, Readied. He does come up to take penalties, so we know he doesn't mind venturing far out from his goal, but a bit of a let-off there.
And Cass can't get this ball whipped in and past his defender, and it ends up being a goal kick and is a chance to make a substitution for his side of Dandenong Thunder. We have got the substitute ready, but the referee hasn't seen it yet and is just trying to hurry up the Heidelberg keeper, who can't decide which side he wants to put his goal kick on. The Thunder fans behind the goals are just letting him know, put the ball down and let's get going. Bit of gamesmanship from the Heidelberg keeper. And now we see him stopped for a substitution. The Thunder coaching bench not too happy as we see Dean Piermont being replaced. And it will give a chance for Readied to... So being replaced by Desic, we should add. My apologies for you holding out for the replacement sub there. But we'll finally get the ball back into play here from the Heidelberg keeper with 22 minutes remaining. Does play it long and finds ahead of Georgopoulos. Desic. He's got into a central position where basically taking a like-for-like position from Dean Piermont.
Desic, a bit of a different sort of player. Piermont, you'd expect him to get the ball more and dribble, but Desic definitely more of a distributing midfielder.
Chance for Heidelberg on this right-hand side. They put the ball in looking for Cahill. Ruben Way's there as well, but can't get under control. Dumbalos has a crack and has a crack. Hits the crossbar, and Tom Cahill with the second effort hits the crossbar again, and it goes out for a goal kick. The Thunder just caught napping, and Heidelberg, twice in the space of seconds, can't put it in the back of the red and black net here.
Oh my goodness, what a hit from Les Dubalis. He's so disappointed because that was an absolutely clean connection. The stuff of dreams come back off the crossbar, and unfortunately Tom Cahill can't direct it on target.
Doesn't score too many, but that would have been in the highlights reel tomorrow morning on the Heidelberg Facebook page as we see a free kick given for a challenge on Tom Cahill. He has been handled quite well tonight, I must admit, from the Dandenong Thunder. He's a tough man to mark, but they've done quite well.
They have done, and obviously I think it's hard not to resort to more physical tactics if you're trying to keep a hold of Tom Cahill, sometimes literally.
Luke Biles, the captain, whips it in, looking for the back post. And his fellow centre-back in Stephen Pace playing his 150th game. And Brandon Barnes can't quite find that long searching ball. Good interception there from Dumbalos. And the ball played long again, and Sean Ellis goes to try and bring it down, but is called offside by the far assistant referee. And Pierce Clark gets the ball underway straight away. No time to waste for the Thunder as they try and force the ball long through Blake Carpenter, but just gets intercepted by Paul O'Brien. Comes back to Sheridan, who'll use Pierce Clark again. Cahill putting a bit of pressure on, encouraging his teammates to get along, but they're just sitting deep. Ruben Way caught a lot deeper than he has been this half. And Carvalho, nice turn inside. Plays it off to Georgopoulos, who puts a ball in for Brendan Barnes, but Barnes can't quite get there. And Theodore Readied does well to come out nice and quick. Cahill. Carvalho. Ruben Way does well there. Two former A-League players doing battle on this near touchline, and the latter wins out in Ruben Way. What did you make of his release this year from Wellington Phoenix midway through the season?
I think it was clear that it wasn't working out at Wellington Phoenix, and he's come back to the welcoming arms of Heidelberg United, but you can't blame him for chasing that A-League opportunity when it arose, and I'm sure that's a option afforded to all Heidelberg players should the A-League clubs come knocking, which is not surprising considering where they tend to finish on the NPL table. You're going to have scouts from the top division, and that's where they should be.
Cahill does well to slip in. Wilkins, and he'll have a shot. And it will go in at the near post via a deflection, and Wilkins will put Heidelberg up 4-2 in the 71st minute at George Andrews Reserve.
Well, a little bit of fortune to follow the misfortune of hitting the crossbar twice in succession just a couple of minutes ago. Josh Wilkins, I'm sure, will be happy to claim the goal, but it was more down to the deflection.
And that's certainly a dent in Dandenong Thunder's aspirations to get something out of this game tonight. Really haven't seen too much of the ball this half, complete opposite of the first half where they really dominated patches of play, but the second half, it has been all Heidelberg.
And you can see a little bit of a swap here with Dandenong Thunder. Carvalho going back to that left-back role and pushing Carpenter up to the right wing. So maybe give a bit more energy on that flank, Carpenter. So let's see what he can do.
Yeah, back in his more natural position at right wing. And a strong challenge does come in there from Adrian Zara.
On the young Desic, a former Melbourne Knights player. Spoken to some people at the Knights who were upset that they couldn't keep a hold of him because he is a talented young midfielder with a lot of technical ability.
It's half the battle in the NPL. You get a good youngster and clubs find out who it is, and then they're calling him up every second that they get to try and bring him across. As we see a chance here for Sheridan to go forward. Goes back to Carvalho, back in his natural left-back position. Carvalho will look for the switch and hits the pass, and Carpenter trying to help his teammate out but just can't quite find it. Finds Tom Cahill with a great turn. Looking to try and put in Derek. He finds him again. Derek doing well to hold it up and rides a strong challenge from Sheridan, who puts it out into the car park.
Speaking of promising young players and also the Melbourne Knights, I was fortunate enough to witness the debut last week against the Bentley Greens of Felipe Sanchez, who looks quite the player. If you are a regular watcher of NPL Victoria, he's a name you've got to keep your eye on because he is some talent. One of the smallest players I've ever seen on a pitch at this level, but he makes up for it in skill.
Well, the Melbourne Knights, they did go down last night to their Croatian sister club, Dandenong City, in a very entertaining game. As we see, the other Dandenong side currently trailing on the scoreboard 4-2 with just over 50 minutes remaining as the ball's played wide from Brendan Barnes. Finds Kieran Dover. He looked to come inside, looking for the pass, but not really on the same page in the middle, and Berevekis will again look for the searching ball, and he will find Barnes, who holds it up, invites in Cass on this near right-hand side. He'll turn in space and get a ball across and go down to a strong challenge, and he's not too happy with that challenge, and he's letting him know, and there's a bit of afters here between himself and Ruben Way. Ruben Way definitely not shy of a challenge. Cass questioning how that wasn't a foul. The referee will go and talk to his assistant referee. And the referee will have a chat to the right back in Cass. And he'll let himself a yellow card for his thoughts on the challenge on Ruben Way.
And perhaps his reaction to it as well. He grabbed Ruben Way by the scruff there and shoved him to the ground. Not what you want to see is Heidelberg make another change. It seems to be Lucas Derrick coming off to be replaced by Ninkovic.
Great surname, known to Australian fans, particularly if you're a Sydney FC fan like myself.
Not the same, unfortunately, but certainly worthy addition to the Heidelberg attack here as they look to seal this game.
We'll have to keep an eye on this battle between Ruben Way and Cass with 15 minutes remaining. I dare say that one's not over with both players not going to shy away. Ball comes long. Hits Ninkovic in the back of the head and ends up at the feet of Georgopoulos. And Kieran Dover just can't quite bring that ball down. Ninkovic can't find him. Does hit a car down to the left-hand side of us. If you've got a black Ford, apologies on that. But Heidelberg still in a favourable position to try and add to their goal tally. Dumbalis looking for Ninkovic. Luke Byers looks short, finds Ellis, who looks for Ninkovic again, who's got some space there, and Pierce Clark does well at his right-hand side. The after's cleaned up by Sheridan, but it's still not over because the ball comes back in across the face, and Cass has to clear it at the back post. And Dover just tries to settle it down to Cass, who slips over but does well to clear it long to the halfway. And Cahill dropping very deep to retrieve his ball there. And Stephen Pace, the 150 gamer tonight for Heidelberg, calm as ever at the back there. Dover looking for Berevekis, but Zara knocks the ball out to his frustration. Cass. Bereveskos. Georgopoulos not happy and cops the ball in the back during his protests. It's a reminder to everyone watching, play the way you face. Dover does well, and Paul O'Brien does well to skip that battle. And Cass ends up with it, looking for Brendan Barnes. He'll find him. He'll play it back to Dover. Comes back to Cass. And he'll find a space with Sheridan, who's got some space on the left-hand side with Carvalho if he can find him. Doesn't use that option. Finds Barnes centrally. Now ends up with Carvalho. With the ball to the back post, he'll find Dover, who can't keep it in, and it will be a goal kick.
Comes to nothing there, but a few encouraging signs from the Dandy Thunder there. That's the first time we've been able to see them play out of a crowded area, work it to the other side, and actually switch the point of attack, which is what they need to do with Heidelberg closing down that space.
Well, they're certainly not out of it yet. They're still 11 minutes plus stoppage time. It's going to take a goal in the next couple of minutes to get them back in touch, but they can certainly salvage something out of this game.
Yep, absolutely. With the rate of scoring we've seen so far this evening, anything is possible.
Readied plays it long. Ball comes down to Georgopoulos, looking to force that ball, not the right one. And Desic battles there with Zara, and Zara rides this challenge again of Georgopoulos in the middle. And a very strong challenge from Modafiari on Ninkovic. The Heidelberg coaching staff asking for a yellow card. A lot of Heidelberg players having their say to the referee, who's done quite well tonight just to keep things calm. Biles will find Ruben Way, and Cass again going in for the challenge, completely misses for his case. And Ruben Way puts the ball across, and Zara on the edge will have a shot. It's blocked by Sheridan. And Cass had time to release, but now he's been sucked in by Ruben Way to keep the ball. And Pierce Clark is forced to play it, and Cass has to be very careful. Already on a yellow card. Flying in for a challenge. If he connected there with Ruben Way, for sure that was the second booking coming his way. As we see Kieran Dover find Brandon Barnes. Unfortunately can't quite find his pass.
You can just tell when the red mist has descended, can't you?
Absolutely. There's a lot of heavy breathing out there. Cass plays in Dover. Has to go back to Cass. Modafiari plays Sharon, who's out on the touchline. Carvalho nice and high. Looking to play in Carpenter. He'll find him. He'll take it to the byline and whip it in. Brandon Barnes, just near the penalty spot, can't quite find the target and puts it over the crossbar. A chance gone begging in the 80th minute.
Another huge opportunity for Brandon Barnes to put Dandenong Thunder back in reach of this game. We saw him blaze one high and wide from close range earlier, and that's two chances now that he usually buries.
If the Thunder are going to get back into this game, they need a goal quick because there's only 10 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. And it's currently 4-2 in favour of the away side, Heidelberg. Dominating second half performance from the Burgers as we see Readied play it long. Sheridan does well there to clear that for the Thunder. And another strong challenge from Stephen Pace. Heidelberg definitely showing their physicality tonight. Modafiari is venturing a bit higher. And Kieran Dover has a chance to take on Dumbalis here. He'll look for the back post, and Carpenter, he'll find the head, but safely in the hands of Readied, who just calms down his side, gives him a chance of a bit of a break, because the Thunder are looking to venture forward now.
They are coming. They've got to take risks now, the Thunder. Down by 2 goals. If they want anything out of this game, they're going to have to throw numbers forward. That's going to leave them open on the other end.
And Cass turns it over to Ninkovic, who finds a run of Tom Cahill, but Cass does well to track back and do the extra leg work just to try and put the ball out of play. You can see now both sides really starting to feel the effects of the cool temperatures tonight in Melbourne southeast. Dumbalis in no rush to get the ball back into play. He'll loop it in to the 6 yard. Trying to find Ninkovic. Zara does well to ride a challenge there. And Desic is forced to knock it out for a Heidelberg corner.
I think Ninkovic was thinking about the spectacular there. It looked to be going up for the overhead kick.
I think you're on the money there. He tried to pop it up to himself and unfortunately just took a heavy touch on his first, as we see Adrian Zara going to whip this ball in from this near touchline just behind the pole on your screens. Ball will be whipped into the back post. Looking for Cahill again. Always a central figure in a set piece for Heidelberg. Wilkins whips the ball back in again. Stephen Pace finds a head, but whips the ball back out to Cahill. And a touch is taken, and it's the substitute Ninkovic who claims that one and will put Heidelberg up 5-2 in the 83rd minute at George Andrews Reserve.
I think the last touch there may have come off Cass, unfortunately, for another own goal, but certainly Heidelberg earned that one. Both own goals, in fact, from the first half and the second by putting balls into dangerous areas time and time again, and that's been just what was coming. It's what their players deserved.
Yep, and definitely puts the 3 points in favour of Heidelberg on their venture down to the southeast tonight. It's a chilly night, but their form in the league has been quite warm. If you're a Heidelberg fan, you've got a lot to look forward to coming into the season. You'll be playing finals, and if you're in this kind of form, you'll be doing some damage against Bentley and Avondale as well, as we see both sides here making a substitute. And it will be Georgopoulos coming off for the home side. Mohammed Faizi coming on to replace him. Goes up top as a second striker for Brendan Barnes. A bit of a tweak in formation.
The last time I saw Mo Faizi in action firsthand, he caught one of the worst Falcons I've ever seen in my life. So it's good to see him back out on the field. He had to be substituted after that one. It was horrible. His neck snapped back and everything. But glad to see he's okay and back out there on the field again.
Great to see you've got good memory as well.
Well, hopefully I'm not his bad luck charm.
Well, he's probably going to be hoping he doesn't cop another Falcon. He sees out the remaining 5+ stoppage minutes here in Dandenong, as we see Cass with a throw-in and a chance for Heidelberg to make another substitution. And it will be their central figure, Tom Cahill, getting an early mark tonight. Pulled a pretty good shift. He's been involved in a fair bit tonight. And he'll be replaced by number 12, Dib.
Another good shift from Tom Cahill. Even if he's not getting on the score sheet, he's always putting in 110%. The Heidelberg TV guys below us, they refer to him as Top Cat Tommy Cahill, and I think that nickname is well earned.
They've got nicknames for everyone.
They do. That's always my favourite, though, Top Cat.
Yeah, they are broadcasting underneath us here tonight. Lucky we've got the good view up top. And they're stuck down in the dirt. It's a very heavy challenge on Brandon Barnes, questioning how that wasn't a foul. As we see Brandon Barnes still remaining down. Just walking away as we see Carvalho look for a switch and finds Dumbalis. Zara. Ruben Way works well to get the second ball in. But he's called offside, unfortunately, for Adrian Zara. And it will now be a chance for another substitution. And it will be Mercer Mehmeti coming on to replace the right back in Cass. A new addition to the Thunder this year from the mid-season transfer. He's had some good involvement since coming up from NPL 2. Definitely found his feet in the top division in Victoria. Ellis will to slip in at Ninkovic. This time, can he get his own goal? Does well to hold it up, riding a challenge, but a very good bit of play there from the Thunder. But unfortunately, the resulting pass is just a cheap turnover. Ends up with plenty of space in the middle for Rubenway, who just has a slight hiccup trying to control it, but Ellis helps me out by finding some space on the right-hand side, and the ball's whipped in from Wilkins. And Pierce Clark going to play it short with a throw. Now he'll be able to drop it short to Sheridan. He'll be forced to go back to Pierce Clark. This is one thing Heidelberg have done really well tonight. A lot of forward pressure. Carpenter trying to beat Stephen Pace, but Stephen Pace well up to the challenge and wins his side of throwing.
One thing you can guarantee from Heidelberg is intensity, and they've really showed it today. As soon as they've gone ahead, and Thunder have to, play with the ball a little bit and actually try and create some opportunities of their own. they've been putting forward pressure on every single time and generating a lot of counter-attacking opportunities as a result.
Ninkovic on the far right side, looking for his only option in Ruben Way, but does get helped out by Paul O'Brien. Happy to slow play down Dumbalis. Wastes no time whipping the ball straight back in. And Ruben Way trying to just bring it down. Dib getting involved in the middle of the park. Ellis tries to get onto his left foot. Plays in Wilkins. But it will end up with Ellis again, or Stephen Pace, mind you. Ellis has remained deep. And there's a chance on the left-hand side here for the Thunder. Blake Carpenter has outrun Pace and puts the ball across the face of goal, and Brandon Barnes can't quite find the end of it. And it goes out for a goal kick, another chance gone begging for the Thunder.
I do think Desic in midfield has added another dimension to this Danny Thunder team. That was an excellent through ball to set that chance away.
He did say he was highly fancied at Melbourne Knights, for whatever reason, decided to make the switch across town.
I think it's the classic lack of first-team football for a young player. Decided to go over to the southeast in search of it, and I think he staked his claim for a start next week.
Absolutely, as the fourth official puts up an additional 3 minutes of added time in Dandenong, as we see the fans on the far side finding their way to the exit gate to beat the traffic home.
Or at least finding their way to the warmth of their cars.
Probably a fair call. As the ball comes down the right-hand side through Ninkovic, and the ball's played out from Sheridan for a corner. But there's been a foul called for the challenge on Ninkovic. And it will be a free kick on the edge of the 18-yard box on the far side. And the assistant referee on the far-hand side has just called over the referee for a quick word. And might be saying it could be inside the box here. It will result in a yellow card to Christian Carvalho for the challenge.
I think the referee just making double sure with his linesman that was outside the box, and also the identity of the player.
He's very tight there. Definitely had an argument for a penalty shout, but just a couple of yards outside the penalty spot. It'll be Sean Ellis that will take this one in. Stoppage time ball. Here we go. Comes in. Looking for the front post. Finds a header, Kieran Dover, who just heads it away.
You know, I think Sean Ellis was trying to score there. He was going for the Olympico.
I reckon I'm with you there too. I reckon he was going for a near post shot. Is Sean Ellis on the ball again. Looking to whip the ball back in for the head of Zara, who does connect, but it will be a goal kick this time round. Even though there were shouts for a corner from the Heidelberg players.
There's usually shouts for something from the Heidelberg players.
Absolutely spot on. As the ball's played central from Thunder. Sheridan forced to play it back. Pierce Clark having to go wide. Doesn't want to mess about with it here, and he does, and he just dinks it in. And unfortunately for him, Paul O'Brien ends up with it. Ruben Way puts the ball inside. Zara on the edge of the 18. Looks to backheel it. And Pace, in his 150th game, has a crack and unfortunately can't find a back of the net. What a end to the game that would have been for Stephen Pace.
And he puts his head in his hands, smile on his face from Stephen Pace. That's not usually his territory, top of the 18-yard box, but not going to get many better opportunities to score, unless it's with his head, I suppose.
Hasn't had too many goals over the years, but that could have been one for the highlights reel, particularly in a milestone game for the Burger. As Pierce Clark puts this one long over the halfway line, searching for Blake Carpenter. Can't quite find him, only finds the Heidelberg players, and Stephen Pace looks central for Ruben Way, who looks for the flick on, but can't find a man. Play it short, looking for Brendan Barnes. And that is the full-time whistle at Dackland Stadium. The final score in favour of the away side, Heidelberg 5, the Dandenong Thunder 2. Josh Parrish, your final thoughts?
Yeah, it was an excellent game, end-to-end, very entertaining. Obviously, the Thunder put a cat amongst the pigeons with those two early goals in the first half to Brandon Barnes, but Heidelberg, as they usually do, It went more to script in the second, fought back to 2-2 at the break, an outstanding second half. They were fully in control the entire second 45 minutes, had Thunder really pinned in their own half, and they've made them pay. Really ruthless stuff from Heidelberg in the second half, and they continue their chase of Avondale in first spot.
Well, there is plenty of NPL Victoria action tomorrow as well. South Melbourne, they host Kingston City at Lakeside. And at 4:15, Oakley Cannons, they host the Altona Magic at Jack Edwards Reserve. These two sides are next week. Dandenong Thunder, they travel to Bentley on Friday night. A very tough task there at Kingston Heath. Heidelberg, you'll find them at home against the Oakley Cannons on Saturday night. My name is Bryce Ruthven, joined by Josh Parrish. Hope you've enjoyed this coverage of Round 18 NPL Victoria between the Dandenong Thunder and Heidelberg United.